Oh, and we are officially live. I'm ready to assault on this NBA greatest 75.
But I want to talk a little Cowboy news.
Ain't no
That's how we get a lot of. That's how we get the majority of our ratings is we talk about some form of the Cowboys. So just got news from Ed Water that Dak Prescott is truly a game time decision for the game on Sunday Night Football. Hey, look, guy, look. I'm trying to look. Look. Ed Water just said this, man. So I'm trying to let our people know. You know, we let me do that. Ed Water says that it's not a game, y'all. It ain't playing around and telling you. Will you shut up?
Give us some real news. Nobody want, man. Nobody even care about
what I was saying. They're not playing games. You know how they say a person is injured, he ain't gonna play, or he gonna play, or don't worry about it. He is a true game time decision per Ed Water. It's a 50-50 chance that he plays tomorrow night against the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. But we know what?
And
next man up. Cooper, get ready, Cooper. Because Cooper Rush, baby. Cooper Rush. Let's get it ready because we don't need you. All you got to do is you got one job. Just don't turn the ball over. If you don't turn the ball over, we fine. We got the play calling, we got the playmakers, we got the defense. We still gonna get it done. We're still gonna win that game.
Pull up.
I guarantee it.
Pull up his stats.
I guarantee it.
Pull up his stats.
Pull up whose stats?
Cooper Rush.
Dude, he's not going to have many. Dak play. I mean, what you talking about? He don't hardly play.
All last year.
What?
Dak played what 3-4 games last year?
Man, we had half the offensive line out last year. Man, will you get out of here with that?
Pull up his stats.
Zeke had an off year. Are you serious?
Pull up his stats.
We didn't have the defense in what we had. We didn't have. Okay, so what are you talking about? It's a different team, man. We got different coach, man. No, get out of here. Let's talk about your 49ers because they're in the news. They're in the news for the wrong reasons. You know, there's a lot of dissension. If you go out there, there's a subject on Steve Young has out there. You remember Steve Young, don't you? You do. I just wanted to let you know that he's a credible person. That he's actually saying this, and this ain't no made up person. Go out there and look what Steve Young said about your locker room, about your coach, about your locker room, about your demeanor, and about what he expects for the rest of the season.
Do I look words here?
I'm just saying, Dara. He give me great satisfaction, man. Y'all, you, Marty, all y'all suck. All y'all, you.
Yeah, I don't have 25 plus years of satisfaction.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't have 25
I'm talking about now, man. I'm just talking about now, man.
I know.
I'm just talking about now, man.
Like I keep
what y'all be, well, you don't say it on Facebook. You don't say it on Facebook, but what everybody else? Hey, you don't say it on Facebook, but what they be saying?
It ain't nowhere in the topics that we talking about the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, I'm just saying.
It ain't nowhere in the topics that we said we was gonna talk about the Dallas Cowboys.
Darryl, we ain't started the show.
Last year I wanted to talk about them.
Darryl. The only reason I'm talking about them now because we ain't officially started the show, man. You said we can't talk about it on the show. I'm talking about it before the show started.
No, you trying to get
no, I'm just saying, man.
Breaking news. Ed Water said this. Man, look, and what who didn't know he was a 50-50 game time decision?
Right,
who didn't know that?
I'm talking to Cowboy fans, so we have to get mentally prepared. We know who's playing or not.
So what fans don't know that?
You got a lot of them that don't know it, man.
Oh man, come on! You just
look, man. I get alerts. Look, dude, I get alerts and notifications of stuff before it happens, man. And it's my job to share it.
Hold up. Okay, so let's do this. Before the show gets started, let's do this. If Cooper Rush play, you just said y'all still gonna win, right?
I said what?
If Cooper Rush play, you say y'all still gonna win.
If he did what I said he was gonna do. If he did have one job. If he does not turn if Cooper Rush does not turn the ball over. I'm
gonna give you a chance to win your case of Dr. Pepper back that you evidently not gonna take.
You see him, Kevin? Now he want to put the case of Dr. Pepper this week when I told him the breaking news by Ed Water. Now he wants to put the case of water back up. Okay.
Hold on. Only because you said y'all still gonna win. So let's put up that case that you ain't paid.
We'll double or nothing, but based off of one criteria. If Cooper Rush turned the ball over, then the bet is off. But if he don't, because I said if he don't turn the ball over, we will win the ball game. If that happens, then we even. How about that?
No.
Okay. Well, that's because you know Cooper Rush gonna turn that ball. That's because you know Cooper gonna turn that ball over.
Don't come in here like you all confident with the backup quarterback situation, and like y'all can just plug and play anybody and still win. Don't do that.
Man, let's get to the show. You get too upset. You take stuff too personal.
You ride too high.
You take stuff to Carrie.
Yes.
Please don't mention nothing about the Cowboys doing the show, because I mean he he got this little tidy whiteies in an uproar or something. I don't know. He just upset. So let's try not to mention the Dallas Cowboys. Me and you will just have that personal excitement. I'll text you and let you know what Ed Water said. The rest of the stuff that Ed Water said.
You couldn't get him to talk about the Cowboys last year. I tried to dedicate a whole show to the Cowboys, and he didn't want to talk about it. But all of a sudden now, you want to talk about them every week. That's okay though.
We worthy, man. Hey. How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys? Hey, what did I say? Some way, somehow, the train gonna get derailed.
Right now. Hey, what's that word that you and Marty, all of y'all use when it come down to the 49? Bang bang. Y'all the bang bang gang, right? That's all I see out there. Bang bang. Does that mean something? Bang bang.
Keep that same energy.
Okay. All right. This is for you, Marty White.
Keep that same energy.
Samantha Smith.
Keep that same energy.
Daryl, Sylvester Early.
Don't be telling everybody my whole name.
Yeah. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, his middle name is Sylvester. And that's what I'm gonna start calling. You know what? You're right. I'm not calling him Daryl no more. Now, Sylvester.
Oh, it got quiet.
Hey, I told him.
See.
I'm the Ed Water on the Sports Talk Show, y'all. It is Sylvester Early.
See, he letting the cat out the bag. See, now everybody gonna know my screen names on my little undercover accounts now because of you. See how the email leaks get out?
That wasn't intentional though.
You sure?
Man, let's get started.
We at 105, so let's go ahead and get the show kicked off. Welcome to the show, Sports Talking More podcast. You gotta listen to the show. Sports Talking More podcast.
I'm sorry, y'all. I was trying to share it from a cell phone and all that, man. And we
you had 5 minutes before the show started to do all of that. You wait till the show started.
I was just trying to wait to see how it looked as it going, man. Don't get mad at me, y'all. For those that's seeing him angry right now, it's because I was just giving him a bit of information that Ed Water passed on to me about Dak Prescott, and he got upset. So I'm sorry.
Terry, that's not on the show. That's not on the show.
You're right.
See, you're trying to undermine the show already.
You're right. Take two. Forget about you ever heard me say that.
Welcome to In the Clutch Sports Talking More podcast. I am your host, D. Early. I am joined by the lovely Carrie Maben.
Good morning, all you sports fans.
And T. Howard versus Walton Will. How you doing, sir?
What it do?
Oh, today we will be covering a few topics, but the main topic we're going to discuss today is this NBA's 75 greatest player list. Great list. Some skepticism on it, though. There's some players on here that maybe shouldn't be on here, and we got a few snubs that we want to talk about that maybe could replace some of the players that are on there. I think it's great that the NBA is recognizing most of these players, and I think for the most part, we aren't going to be too disappointed. I just think with any list that you ever create, it's going to always be, well, why this person on there and why this person ain't on there. So that's just part of it. But before we get into this, let's go ahead and do this quick commercial. Our sponsor, Simply Magic Candles, the official sponsor of all the In the Clutch Sports Talking More podcasts. Let's get in this commercial right quick and we'll be right back. Simply Magic Candles, the official sponsor of all the In the Clutch podcasts. Owner and CEO Pamela Brown turned her hobby into a business. These homemade, slow-burning candles are sure to freshen up any environment. Simply Magic is a nature-friendly company that provides elegant yet affordable candles. With a variety of fragrances you can enjoy, these candles will not only entice your senses, they will enhance your mood. For more information, they can be reached at info@simplymagiccandles.com, or you can reach Pamela Brown at 901-268-5354. And for all of y'all that didn't know, In the Clutch, we have our own fragrance. Oh, it smells so good. Carrie, you still ain't got yours. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get to you.
I think you said on last show. Carrie, have you got your shirt yet? Or your candles?
I don't have it yet.
Okay.
I'm available.
That's what I'm saying. We can't, every show it's the same thing. Carrie, I'll get with you after the show and I'll meet you somewhere. And see, he lies, audience. He lies. No matter what he does, he's a big lie. Don't trust nothing he tell you.
Anybody that know me know that's not an accurate statement. So I'm not even gonna entertain that. But Simply Magic Candles, the official sponsor of all the In the Clutch podcasts. You can reach Pamela Brown at 901-268-5354. She got a wide variety of candles. Check her out. You will not be disappointed. Let's jump right on into this this NBA 75 list. I actually thought that what they were gonna do was just basically add 25 more names to the list, and that was kind of gonna be how they did it. So was it like a revamping of the entire list, or? And the reason I'm asking that is because it was one person that was on the 50-year list, but wasn't on the 75 list. So how could you get demoted?
And the person that we're talking about is one of my all-time favorites.
And who was that?
Billy Cunningham, baby. Former coach of the Philadelphia 76ers.
He was a decent player, too.
He was a decent player.
But the thing about it, and the thing I'm trying to figure out is how has no one said anything about it? And I checked the list like 3 times to make sure he wasn't on the new list, and he's not on the new list. But he was one of the original 50. I hear some noise somewhere.
Yeah, I hear something too. That's why I was trying to grab the type and said I hear some background noise somewhere. I
don't know where it's coming from. Well, that's going, but nonetheless, so that's kind of disappointing to be on the 50th anniversary list, even though even though it was some comments that maybe he shouldn't have been on that list. That was some of the talk that he probably shouldn't have been on that list.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know how they revamp. I don't know who number one, who's doing the voting on these lists.
I mean, I think it was former players. I think some coaches, GMs, and probably some sports writers. Same ones who always do the stuff.
I don't know. You sure that ain't that Pac-Man machine behind you?
No, it ain't no Pac-Man. It just started. So I don't know what it is.
Oh, okay. Well, like I said, I don't know who's doing the voting on this, or they may need some up-to-date people, man, that's commentating. I mean, that's voting on this type of stuff, because after looking at the list that they had with the top 50, and maybe they thought about it and say, you know what, they may have been originally in the top 50, but you know, coming up with the top 75, that they had reason to take somebody, you know, take this person out and add another person. But you ain't gonna never be 100% perfect on this list, because it's so many. You're talking about 75 years of the NBA. So you're talking about some of the greatest players of all time, and you putting the pressure on certain people to try to pick the top 50 and now the top 75. That's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
but you would think if you had 50 originally, you just add 25 more. That
it makes sense if you had a list of 50 to add 25. Excuse me. But what I read is that it's 88 people who vote on this top 75 list. And with it being so many people, you know, how many votes do one person have to get on this list is my question.
So you don't think they go by the consensus? Maybe I guess maybe like they do like the Hall of Fame, you got to get 65% or 60%, or is it a certain percentage, or did they take the whole 88 and say, hey, just the majority gets them in? I don't know that criteria, but I do know that if you got 88 people and you come out with a list and you got 88 people that's voting, and they make some of the mistakes that we are going to talk about later in the show, I'm starting to question them 88 people. Are those 88 people the same people that's been voting since the inception of the NBA? Because if they are, it's a problem. They need to update. They got to do something, because there's no way. I can understand if you said 8. I was like, you know what? 8 people can get it wrong. But 88 people, and you still have a consensus, and you give us this list, and we're going to tell you some names that were snubbed, or we felt like that, you know, should have been changed around. It's not an excuse. So I don't know. I don't know if it's dealing with some people being blackballed or not being like. I don't know what it is, but
I believe that's could be some of it.
As I'm looking at this list right here, I mean, the only names that I would, well, you got 2 names on here. Don't get me wrong. I think Robert Parrish was a great player. I think he just was a great compliment to Bird, McHale, and DJ and all of them. Was he top 75?
Well, before I even answer the question, there's a couple of names on here, and I know NBA players pretty well, and you know, I may not know them in depth, especially in the older years, but it's a couple names on here that I ain't never heard of them. But you would think, even if they were from old school, if they was as good as people proclaimed it, I would have at least heard the name. Do you know who is Paul Arizin? And I'm not trying to say that they are worthy or not worthy. I'm just saying I've never heard of this person. So, and I consider myself a pretty good sports fan. So, even if they were from the old school, I would think that, you know, I would have heard of him. Have you guys ever heard of him?
I never heard of him, but he played for the Philadelphia 76ers, so you should know, since that's your team back in the 1950s.
Well, I tell you what, that's another red flag. That's another red. You're exactly right. That's my team. And if I still ain't never heard of him, it's my team. then I need to sit up there and do a little bit more research. So for all of his fans, no disrespect, I'm not saying he doesn't belong and all that. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to say that we throwing salt on the people that were on the list. I'm just saying that I would like to do more research before I say or give my opinion that if he belongs or not, versus somebody that we know that's got omitted off the list.
Well, it's kind of one of them things. I ain't never see John Havlicek play, but I know he's supposed to be on the list.
Oh, come on. You stop. Havlicek is he's one of them, man. Will you stop it?
No. You see, you don't never pay attention. Did you even hear what I just said?
Why would you bring up Havlicek's name?
No, because I said I've never seen him play, but I know he deserves to be on the list. That's what are you talking about?
Okay, well,
what I'm saying is, even though it's players you didn't grow up in that era and you didn't see them play, but you don't heard his name enough to know that he deserved to be on the list. So what I'm saying, this Bill Sharman, I never heard of him. He played for Washington and Boston. So hey, it is, Paul Arizin, never heard of him, but I heard of all the other players. So I'm just gonna assume that they deserve to be on the list. We'll talk about Bill Walton in a minute, though. What about these guys?
Who is that?
There he is, man. My favorite basketball player all time. I thank you for putting him up, man. That's my guy. I that's my favorite number. That's my guy. I'm a big Dr. J fan, and Charles Barkley and Allen Iverson. Those are my three favorite of all times, and what they got in common.
See now,
Philadelphia 76.
See, I'm looking at this list. And I'm saying, I never heard of Hal Greer, but hey, Giannis, he deserved to be on this list already.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Durant,
he keep playing like he's playing over the course of the next 10 years. 15 years, he's going to be on there, but he shouldn't be on the top 75. He should be a part of the top 100 when they get ready to do this list again. But no, he shouldn't be on there.
Kevin Durant.
I'm the same way on that. He was good when he was with the where he's originally started, my son's favorite team. I can't even think of him. But he was good then, with James Harden and Kevin Westbrook.
Oklahoma City.
Yeah, how they pulled that team together. But I'm kind of on the fence about him.
I'm on the fence too. I mean, you got to be consistent with it, because if you don't be on the fence, when people's careers aren't totally completed, to me, it's a slap in the face that you got somebody that's, for example, you got somebody that played 15 years. 20,000 points scored or 10,000 rebounds, whatever stats that they got. They don't make it, but you include people who's right in the midst of their career and still got another 7 to 10 years to play, and you've already crowned them and put them in. To me, that's a slap in the face. I understand you get your flowers while you're still here, but at the same time, they should be part of the top 100 class and not the top 75. These should be for people, in my opinion, that's already, their careers have already been defined. You've already got their total body of work. Then you make your decisions.
Yeah.
Okay, be honest. A championship, 2 MVPs. Kevin Durant, an MVP. You got 1 or 2? 2 championships?
Two. You got two with Golden State.
Okay, so even if you want to say they deserve to be on there, how the hell James Harden on here? What does James Harden did?
That's the full body of work of what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest with you, I'm just gonna be honest with you. People, you can't just put a person on the list because, hey, Well, I take that back. It depends on how you look at it. But I was fixing to say you can't put a person on the list because they was a great offensive scorer. I mean, you got a bunch of great offensive scorer. James Harden, to me, don't play no defense. You know, and not taking anything from him, but I'm just saying when I have to compare one versus the other, I'm looking at the total body of work. And when I put you with one of all 75 NBA 75 greatest, I'm taking a lot of things in consideration. You know, your integrity on the court. You know, and this is my opinion. I ain't talking about nobody else's, but you know how you carry yourself. How do you represent the NBA? Definitely, your points and statistics made a lot. But the thing that's going to take you over the hump, in certain cases, is going to be championships. But you got to peel that back because you can't always go by championships because you got some players that can be they are two-time NBA champion. Yeah, but they probably played for 2 minutes in the game. They probably was a bench member. They probably barely got 5 minutes a game, but their totals are going to tell you, the totals are going to sit up there and tell you that they got the numbers, they got championships. So championships are not always should be used when you're trying to list the greatest of all time.
I think it's like people living in the now and saying that, yeah, he is. I mean, I would say right now, Giannis, Durant, and James Harden are probably in the top 5 NBA players right now that are currently playing. So maybe whoever voting is kind of looking at that, but it is too early in their careers for them to be on this list. They just don't deserve to be on this list, in my estimation, right now.
Right.
Like you said, Terry, in 100 years, when they do it 25 years from now, of course they'll be on there. I'll still be questioning James Harden if he don't. I mean, what he won? MVP?
Oh.
No championships? Come on, man. James Harden.
Dude, James Harden should not be on this list, man. People with an incomplete resume body of work should be on here.
All of them got an incomplete resume. So I'm saying even the resume he got now, he don't deserve to be on there.
Who all got an incomplete resume?
Giannis ain't complete. Kevin Durant ain't complete.
I was looking at the list you brought up. I would just say some of these people on the list does have a complete resume.
Yeah, I'm saying the people we saying don't deserve to be on there, they still, I mean, James Harden still got a chance to win some championships and deservingly be on the list eventually. Giannis and Durant, they got MVPs and championships, so you can kind of see why they might be on the list now. But James Harden, it's no argument for him to be on this list.
Well, let me ask you another question. And Kerry, anybody on this particular list, that you got an issue with, or
well, not so much. I have a particular thing about them on the list. It's more so people that's not on the list, and like Paul George, when he broke his leg, I think that affected him being on the list. And he has more years in than Giannis, and to me, Durant. They might have came out around the same time. I'm not quite sure, but injuries, I believe had a part to play, and people not getting on the list. I also
Kerry. Wait a minute.
Paul George.
I think me and Daryl's going to get you at the same time. You mean we talking about playoff P? You think he should? Even if he didn't have the leg injury, you think he should be one of the greatest 75 of all time?
I believe he stepped up enough that he should be, in the talk if he's not on the list.
Whatever. Kerry, I don't know.
I usually agree with you, Kerry, but I don't. Paul
George. Oh no.
Even coming back from an injury like that, you haven't seen too many basketball players come back from that, or even had that type of injury. So
Kerry, that don't make you That don't make you one of the top greatest because you came back from an injury. I mean, we'll give him.
Well, what makes you the greatest?
I give him comeback player of the year, but
yeah, I give him that, Kerry.
Other than that, I mean, no MVP, no championship, no scoring title, no finals appearance. Well, did he make? No, I mean, what has he done?
He just seemed like that all-around player to me. That should be, you know. I know you got to have all these titles, MVP, on the Olympic team and all that. I know that that's all a factor in there, and I believe he has played on the Olympic team at some point. But he just seemed like an all-around player.
Which one, Karen? Which one?
Let me.
Which one, Karen?
Let me look it up, Terry.
I'm just messing with you, Karen. I mean, that's why we all got our own opinions and all that. But I just say cosign.
He got hurt when they was playing in the Olympics.
Okay.
The training thing, he got hurt. But no, I can't.
He's a really good player, but I couldn't put him up there with the greatest. I just can't.
I can't even put him above James Harden.
Okay.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Not at all.
Well, let me ask you this, because I did read this. Alex English. Now, I know that the conversation was he didn't make the top 50 and he didn't make the top 75. But when I read his resume, he he has a resume, so why he's not on there?
Kerry. He was one of my favorite players of all time over there with the Denver Nuggets. He was over there. It was him, Kiki Vandeweghe, and all them playing over there with the Denver Nuggets. You are dead on the money. This is. I was trying to hold this in the bag, but you guys look like Daryl got it up. You talked about it. We all on the same page. There is no way in hell that Alex English should not be on this top 75 list.
And there's no way. And you got James Harden on here. This man was 20th in all-time scoring, and he ain't on the list. Come on now.
Him and Kiki Vandeweghe, man, over there with the Denver Nuggets. They weren't. They was a good, formidable team as far as putting up points and highlight reels. They weren't the greatest as far as team record wise and all that. You know, back then the Lakers was everything, and you had a couple other teams over there in the West. So they was always make it to the playoffs, but it was always going in as the number 8 or 7 seed and always facing the Lakers or whoever that or the Seattle Supersonics back then, and they was getting knocked out in early years. So they never did anything like that. But it don't take that all the time. As far as individual records, Alex English, I would stand on there. There are 15 people on this list that I would take off and put Alex English on there. So you're exactly right on. You dead on the money with that one.
Now, and I'm gonna say this. I think Vince Carter's longevity, it helped him and it hurt him. It helped him because he's 19th in scoring and he ain't on the list. We already know what he did in the dunk contest and how he revolutionized the above the rim game. Rookie of the year, 8-time All-Star, just like Alex English. He 19, Alex English is 20. But when you look at his career average points, rebounds, and assists, it's like that ain't nothing that really blow you away. But you got to think about it. He played
Injuries played a lot.
Well, not really injuries, because he played 20. I think he played 20 or 21 years. So of course, you're not gonna average 20-some points when you in your 17, 18, 19 years. So that's gonna bring your averages down some when you start being that role player. I bet if he would have stopped his career at like probably 15 years, well, he would have been a 25-point a game scorer. Yeah, but he probably wouldn't be 19th in all-time scoring or whatever. But
he may not have been. But he would have had 20,000 points. He still would have had 20,000 points.
He deserved to be on the list. So what I'm saying is he deserved to be on the list before James Harden and Durant and Giannis. So that's But
he helped revolutionize the dunk competition. He never got any trouble. I mean, he was
clean. Squeaky clean.
Squeaky clean. I mean, and that goes a long way, people. I mean, with your body of work and all that type of stuff. And like I said, those numbers that Daryl just put up, it's sort of deceiving. Because if you look at it, he ain't averaged but 16 points a game. No. He was a role player probably for the last 6-7 years of his career. He's a role player. So if you take his amount of minutes, maybe he was getting 15 minutes a game, and he'll get you 6 or 7 points a game. That would bring that 25 point per game that he would normally do in his earlier years all the way down to that 16. So when you look at that, don't always look at the numbers. The numbers don't always tell the story.
Yeah, I just explained that to him. Go ahead.
Well, I'm explaining to them again because they probably understand what you're talking about. I'm trying to break it down and tear these layers off. You want to give them a high view of it. You know what I mean?
Don't insult the intelligence of our audience.
Okay.
We halfway through the show, so let's go ahead and take this quick commercial break. And when we come back, we'll go over the next 25, and we'll follow that up with what we think is our biggest snub of these 75.
Tonya Covington, Realtor, a multi-million-dollar producer in the Mid-South since October 2000. She is an accredited buyer's representative, a seller's representative specialist, and committed to excellence. Tonya assists her clients with budgeting, home repairs, and the loan process, all the way to closing. Tonya exemplifies integrity, energy, hard work, and creative service in every detail of her real estate transaction. She has built a successful career in real estate for over 19 years in the Mid-South. Clients chose to work with Tonya for her full-service team, ethics, experience, and expertise. Her base is strong, full of loyal, repeat customers. And that is the reason Tonya has been so successful in this incredibly competitive sales environment. Tonya's extensive knowledge of the Mid-South residential real estate market is unparalleled. Her clients have consistently sought her advice and trusted her judgment on many deals. A woman of faith, family, and community. Tonya believes one is not defined by what he or she receives, but by what he or she gives. Please call Tonya anytime without obligation. She is ready to go to work for you today.
Tonya Covington, your real estate homegirl, licensed in Tennessee and Mississippi. She can be reached at 901-870-5337.
You know what? I'm sort of interested to what some of the people out there are thinking about, some of our comments or people they felt like got snubbed or anything like that. So, you guys can still call into the show. We hadn't had anybody call into the show in a while. So, you guys can call in there and let us know what you think. And let's see if we agree or disagree with you.
Oh, this last 25. I see Dominique finally made it. He should have been on the original 25, I would think. At the expense of Billy Cunningham, I would think that Dominique would go in before him, but he didn't make it. But I'm looking at this list and I'm
this list is a trip, man.
Let's start with. Let's just start with Kawhi. 19 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, but he got 2 championships, 2 Finals MVP, and Defensive Player of the Year, 10 All-Star appearances.
But you know what, Daryl? And I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna tell the whole entire the artist, this is what happened. And the same thing, what we just got to say about Billy Cunningham. They are putting people in, and when they did the top 50, they had people in just like they're doing now that didn't have a full body of work, people that were still currently playing. Well, guess what happens? When you go to the next list and those people body of work have completed, then you have the task of saying, hey, you got other people up here and you're going to push somebody in. You never know. Somebody could sit up there and be on there are borderline, but the next 10 years, they really, they could fizzle out. They could become better. And so my point is, you can have people go back and forth from a list. You can have a new person that come in, and like Dominique, you could sit up there and have somebody that was borderline, and then you turn around and they didn't finish up their career as what we expected. Like we got a lot of people on this list right here that's not fully completed. They can go belly up and not do anything for the rest of their career. Then guess what? When they get to the top 100, somebody's going to push them out.
I guess
that's what happened. Dominique was already retired doing the first 50. So there's no reason why all of a sudden in the top 75, Dominique is on the list now. Dominique pushed somebody out, and it looks like it was Billy Cunningham. Not for the same reasons of what I just stated.
No, I'm not gonna say Dominique pushed Billy Cunningham.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I said maybe not for this particular scenario, but I'm saying Dominique pushed somebody out.
No. Dominique didn't push nobody out. He deserved to be in.
No, I'm not. I don't mean push them out, but I'm saying he was not on the original list, but now he is. So somebody that was on that 50.
Say James Harden pushed somebody out. Don't say Dominique didn't push nobody out.
Dude, are you listening to what I'm saying? If Dominique was not on the original 50 list, but he's on the 75 list, somebody that was on that original 50 list, which Dominique was not on, Dominique is on the top 75. Somebody's in that top 70, in the top 50, got pushed out.
What you're saying don't make sense, because if you saying Dominique, okay, now if it was the 50 list and they change it and say, okay, Cunningham ain't in there, Dominique in, then okay, he pushed them out. But when you at 75, you can't say that Dominique pushed nobody out, because Dominique should have made the first 50.
That's not the top. That's not what we're discussing. We know Dominique should have been in the top 50. We're not debating that.
So how he pushed somebody out if he deserved to be in there? You only push somebody out when you don't deserve.
So what you're telling me, when they did the list of 50, Dominique wasn't selected. So what has Dominique did in the last whatever year since they did the top 50 list? What has he did?
That would be 25 years.
What? They didn't announce the top.
They did a 50 and then they did the 75. So that would be 25 years since the last list.
Okay, but Dominique been retired. Okay. So Dominique, I'm sure he's probably been retired by 25 years. You think?
Okay, and that has what to do with anything?
So what I'm asking you is, what has Dominique done since his retirement that gets him on the top 75 now? If he wasn't on the top 50,
I just told you he should have been in the top 50. So he ain't had to do nothing. He should have been in the original 50.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir, because you don't understand what I'm saying. Go ahead.
No, you're not
finish what you're saying.
Maybe you're not communicating what you're trying to say.
No, I know what I'm saying, but go right ahead. Go right ahead.
But we don't know what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that Dominique pushed somebody out. And I'm disagreeing with you. I'm saying Dominique ain't pushed nobody out. He deserved to be in there. Now, if you want to say James Harden or some of these other guys,
no, you keep saying James Harden. You speak for you.
Because I don't think James Harden deserved to be in there.
Okay,
he don't deserve to be in there, so he pushed somebody else out.
But that's your opinion, and that's your opinion.
So you think James Harden should be in over Dominique?
Let me talk. When I get ready to talk, I'll give you my opinion, which I tried to do. So just go.
I'm trying to help you out because what you're saying don't make sense.
Okay, yeah, what I'm saying. Go ahead, sir.
Don't downgrade Dominique. Downgrade some of these other players that don't deserve to be in here. Somebody that don't deserve to be in here push somebody out, not Dominique.
He ain't talking about that. What do you got to say about Kawhi? You think Kawhi should be in there right now, based off of what you see?
Not out. Well, yeah, I would put him over somebody.
I would put him over James. I would put him over James Harden. And probably that's it. I think Giannis and Durant, they all like right there they right now players that if I had to put a right now player in, those would be the three, and it's based on the fact that they got championships and MVPs.
Well, yeah.
And he got Defensive Player of the Year and 10 All-Star appearances. So I would put him in definitely above James Harden.
Yeah.
But is he better than Alex? Does he deserve to be in over Alex English?
No.
See, that's
no.
But
so
the thing about it,
so you could say Kawhi pushed Alex English out.
Well, I kind of understand what Terry is saying that Dominique pushed. I forgot the other person's name out, because if the list was the top 50 and he should have been on the list, somebody had to recast their vote around for him to get in. Because like he said, he hasn't been playing. So what happened? You know, what made his stats go up for him to be on the list?
No. That was if you had one person replacing one person, you could say that. You got 26 players that made the list that wasn't on the original list. So why would you say it was Dominique that did it?
Okay, well, what other person?
I just told you, James Harden. He don't deserve to be on the list.
Let me finish. That hasn't played since that top 50 list is on this list now that we could say push the other person off the list, the Cunningham.
Say that
great question, Carrie.
Say that again.
What person other than Dominique Wilkins is on this new list that could have pushed Cunningham off the list that has not played in the last 25 years?
Okay, let's go back and see.
Okay.
That's easy. That's easy. Oh.
All right.
That has not played. Hold on, you saying that was playing at the time, but ain't played since then?
That hasn't played since that top 50 list.
Hold on, I gotta look at mine.
Oh, we'll wait. We'll wait. Great question, Carrie. I'm glad we're not just leaving it to the fans out there. I'm glad you understand exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you very much.
Okay, just because she said don't make it right either.
I ain't saying that, but you said
because I ain't looked at who was playing then, because Dominique ain't the only person that didn't make the 50 that ended up making the 75.
Well, that's the only one we was talking about. That's been me and your topic over the course of the last week and a half, is why Dominique didn't make the original team. So don't change the narrative now.
Okay, that was in 96. I need to see who came in, who was playing in 96. There wasn't
we can keep the show going. You can do that research and you can have it on the next show, because that's something, since you did your homework, you should have had that answer for Carrie right then and there.
No, I didn't know that was coming up.
Okay, well, you had to know it's coming up. So you don't know everything, sir. You don't know everything.
I ain't say I did know everything. But what you saying don't make sense, because if Dominique's supposed to be on the list, how he put somebody off the list? So you saying these other guys that made it had nothing to, okay, let's say if you take James Harden off and put Billy Cunningham on the list, is anybody going to
compare them? James Harden is still playing, sir. We're not talking about people that are currently playing, sir. Did you hear what Carrie said?
Oh my God. No, so what I'm saying is, if you redid the whole list, then how you gonna say Dominique was the one that pushed them off? We don't
because guess what? Dominique just arrived on the list, and Billy Cunningham just miraculously got taken off the list. So what do you think?
Okay, so you saying ain't nobody else on this list?
Well, Carrie just asked you to go to the list, and you went through them, and you ain't named nobody yet.
Allen Iverson, Ray Allen, Allen Iverson, Ray Allen.
Oh, so you're saying, okay, so what are you saying about Ray Allen and Allen Iverson?
You asked me who was on the list. You asked me who was playing at that time that wasn't on the list that's on the list now.
So Allen Iverson, none of them was on the top 50 list?
No, they weren't.
Okay. All right.
So now what's your argument?
Okay.
So now what's your argument?
Okay.
Hello?
Okay, go ahead.
I'll wait.
Go ahead.
I don't have an argument.
I'll wait.
Know who wasn't on the list.
Okay, so now you know. So what's your argument now?
that's not currently playing. I just want to know. It's no argument.
No, it is with him though.
No,
So
no argument.
So now what you got to say?
No, I'll tell you the same thing. Billy Cunningham miraculously got off.
So Allen Iverson didn't push him off?
No.
Oh, okay. So Ray Allen didn't push him off?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
So
evidently, hey, but evidently, during that time, Dominique should have been on that list, on the original list, and he wasn't. Billy Cunningham was, but 25 years later, Dominique is on the list.
Okay,
and Billy Cunningham isn't.
Okay,
I'm just using that.
Okay, and I'm using James Harden shouldn't be on the list. Okay, let me ask you this. Do Dominique belong on the list?
Man, why you asking stupid questions? We know he belongs on this. We said that.
Okay, so do James Harden belong on the list?
I told you nobody that's going to have a full body of work should be on the list anyway. Did you hear me when I said that?
Okay, so listen up, dum-dum. If you just said anybody who ain't got a complete list don't deserve to be on here, common sense would tell you the people who on here that shouldn't be on here is the ones that pushed Billy Cunningham off the list.
No. I don't. No. Come on. We'll go to the next topic.
Oh yeah. See, now I know. Because you know what you're saying don't make sense.
No. The people at the end of the day,
the people what?
If you take all these people that don't have a full body of work off the list,
okay,
even if you take them all off the list right now, if you take them all off the list, Dominique still wasn't on that top 50.
I'm serious.
He wasn't on the original top 50, but now he is.
He wasn't on the top 50, but he ain't. You don't. If you belong, you ain't bump nobody off. The people who don't belong on the list is the ones that bump somebody off.
Man, I'm just saying, it's my opinion. I can say he bumped Cunningham off. If Cunningham ain't no list no more.
That's your opinion. Don't make it right.
I didn't say it was right, but that's my opinion. So I can say that.
And you can have your opinion, but I'm telling you that you're wrong.
Okay. Well, go to the next topic, sir. Mr. Wise One, or Wise One.
Thank you. I'll take that accolade. Based on what they doing now, I would say Kawhi, and I'm putting all these players above James Harden. Kawhi, probably, based on how they doing it, he probably should be on there because what he got right now is a decent body of work. Here go another one. Carmelo. He ain't really got a lot of accolades. He got the points and he got the all-star appearances. And I mean, he 9th in all-time leading scoring and he's still playing. So his number's still finna go up. So he don't deserve to be on there over James Harden. He ain't got no MVP. That's the only thing that James Harden got over him is an MVP. So in my estimation, Carmelo deserved to be on there more than James Harden. What you think, Kier?
Well, with the amount of time that Carmelo been playing, yeah, I do believe he should be on there ahead of James Harden.
He probably gonna end up 8th because I think he got the chance of passing Shaq this year to go into the 8th spot. So now this next one, man. If he didn't average a triple-double them 3 seasons or whatever in a row, I don't think he would have made this. I think the only reason he made the list is based on averaging them triple-doubles. I'm assuming y'all agree. Y'all ain't saying nothing.
I can see that. Yeah, he did have a couple of years with triple-doubles and I'm quite sure that helped with a lot of people voting for him just for that one reason alone.
I have no comment. I'm gonna stick to my point that if you don't have a full body of work, you shouldn't be on the list anyway. So once you get your full body of work done, then you push somebody off that's already on there. You say, hey, they found body of work is better than they found body of work. But I'm not into comparison somebody in the middle of their career or close to the end of their career and comparing it to somebody that's got a full body of work. So for the last time for me, I am not nobody that doesn't that has not retired and have a full body of work should be on the top of anybody's list.
And you sticking with it?
I'm sticking with that.
But you don't think they bumped Billy Cunningham?
We're not going to talk about Billy Cunningham anymore.
Oh, okay.
I gave you my opinion about Billy.
I'm just saying, because based on what you just said, Dominique, he now at the time he was still playing, but now he's not playing. So his body of work is completed. So he should be, if he wasn't on the original 50, he should have been on the next 25. And all these guys we going down here now.
Well, based off of what you just said, yeah, he wouldn't have a full body of work, but now he do, and he bumped Billy Cunningham off, which is what I just said.
No, you said he deserved to be on here, but these guys don't. So
okay, but based off your criteria of what you just said, you said that during the first 50, Dominique body of work was not completed. Now his body of work is completed. So now I'm saying, based off of what you just said, okay, his body of work is not completed. Then you can put somebody off because you got two people with their bodies of work completed, and you can bump somebody off. And in my opinion, he bumped Billy Cunningham.
How that makes sense, dummy? If you still got players on here, that you still got players that ain't their body of work. So how the players that's on here that you by your criteria don't deserve to be on here, how you gonna say they didn't bump him off? That don't even make sense.
Go ahead, Karen.
Okay, I just got one simple question. What list are we looking at? Because on the list I'm looking at, Billy Cunningham is on the list.
You looking at the top 50. Look on the top 75. He's not on there.
No, this says 75.
Karen, don't tell me he sit up there and he done put the wrong list out there, Karen. Please don't tell me that.
Okay, let's hold on. Okay. Hold on. No. Here go the list right here. This the list right here. Show me Billy Cunningham name. Is it on this list? Is it on this list?
I don't see it. That's why I asked what list.
Okay. Hold on. It ain't on this list, right? But there's 25 names up there.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
Okay. Is he on this list? Did they use William? Is it something? Is it William Cunningham? Is it anything?
I don't see a Cunningham period, but like I said, the list I'm looking at, that is
on this list. Look on this list.
Karen, what list you looking at, Karen, so I can go out there and look?
This right here is from the NBA.
I'm asking Karen what the list she's looking for, sir.
This say NBA 75 teams, full list of players revealed as league celebrates 75th anniversary season.
Let me pull it up. I'm gonna see
and
what
when
I
you
come
pull
up
it up, tell me which one of these names I need to take off. Because I'm going by this can't.
No, you do your own research. I'm trying to make sure that he's on the list.
Exactly.
Well, this said as a result of a tie, the team features 76 players, but they have them in alphabetical order. So I just kept seeing Cunningham. So I'm like, okay, is he on the list? He's not on the list. So
it ain't 75, it's 76.
Yeah.
So which one is it? He ain't on this list. He ain't on the 75 list that's listed right here.
Well, on this Google list I got, he's on there.
I'm going through them now. I'm going through it now.
But that's like with anything else. When you researching, you can get several different answers. So
no, and that's the point that I made from the get-go. If he was knocked off the list, why hasn't anyone said anything about it? But you can clearly see on this list that came off the NBA website, he ain't on the list that I looked at. I don't look at several different lists. And he on all the 50. When it say top, when I look up top 50, he on all of them. And all the ones I looked up the top 75, I couldn't find his name on neither one of them. And this one came directly off the NBA webpage.
Well, this one dated October the 22nd. And
okay, look like the list that I'm looking at now is in alphabetical order. So Cunningham.
So
yep, Billy Cunningham is on the list.
If it's it's 76 instead of 75.
Yeah, because
because all the ones under the C's are all the ones that lame in with C's are Wilt Chamberlain, Bob Cousy, Dave Cowens, Billy Cunningham, Stephen Curry are the only ones with the last name begin with C.
Stephen Curry.
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry ain't on.
They got Stephen Curry on here.
Oh, well, that's his name. Stephen, Steve, whatever.
Yeah, so there are 5 people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people with the last name with C. Stephon Curry, Billy Cunningham, Cousy, Wilt Chamberlain, and Dave Cowens. So he is on this top 75 list that I'm looking at.
No, that's the top 76 list.
Yeah, because 2 players tied with their with the number of votes that they got, so it ended up being 76 people.
Well, they should have put him on here.
I guess he did get booted out.
He shouldn't have got booted out. That's the point I was trying to make. If you made the 50 list, how they gonna take you off? You just add on. You don't take off.
So look like
That's
it might
have been in the face.
A typo on the NBA. They might have accidentally, and I'm gonna say they accidentally left his name off when the report says it's 76 people because of the tie.
If I was Billy Cunningham, I would be outraged.
Yeah, but it's still sort of deceiving because you play NBA 75 and you got 76, and you know, I mean, 75 or 70.
I could have fixed that easy.
It's 75 years.
I could have fixed that easy. Because Damian Lillard don't deserve it.
My thing is, it's a reason why they got 75. It's been 75 years since they've been in business. I mean, since since it started. So you want 75. What are you used to having 76 people and you got a 75-year anniversary? I don't,
Well, I understand what you're saying, but if 2 people get 80 votes, what you do, knock out when the criteria might have been that you have to get 50 votes and you're gonna knock off somebody because
just knock off one of these people that ain't got a full body of work.
Exactly. James Harden, Damian Lillard,
criteria of the vote.
Anthony Davis. You could take all of them out.
It's a slap in the face. It's a slap in the face to have a veteran or somebody of Billy Cunningham status where you got people that he got a full body of work. Granted, you can't. It's like comparing to orange because that was in a different day and time. But back then you could score average 15 points a game and be a superstar. They're averaging 30, 25, and 30 now back then.
And Carmelo.
That's why you say you can't always go. You got to go by era.
Carmelo and Anthony English, the only 2 that's in the top 20 in scoring that ain't on the list. So you could have easily took Westbrook, Anthony Davis, Damian Lillard, and James Harden off and added Alex English. Who else? Alex English and who else? Vince Carter. You could have added somebody on there. But I don't, hey, they did what they did. So it ain't nothing we can do about it, but it don't look right to have 76 when you're supposed to have 7. When you're saying 75 greatest players.
Yeah, because when I looked at the ones that didn't make the list, like Klay Thompson, he could have took somebody's place.
You going against?
I don't know, Kerry. I don't know. I don't know.
But it's all about scoring, and he just shooting 3s. You don't think he could have took somebody's place?
What else? What else he do, Kerry?
No, I mean he's good. He a good.
I mean, he's an outstanding scorer, and he's a good defender. But Kerry, he was around.
Okay,
he's not a top 75 when.
We'll go with another name, Alonzo Mourning. What he do? Nothing. Yeah, I mean.
No, you may have a point. You may have a point with that one, but I need to see what his credentials look like total, like comparison to what the other ones that Darryl was putting up. I need to see Because I know he had to get
no
some
MVP,
defensive.
no championship.
Who? Morning?
Yeah. I can't tell you what he did, but I can tell you what he didn't do.
Okay.
Because I ain't look. I saw his name
he add him to a list of a lot of these people on this list that didn't do nothing.
But that's what I'm saying. I'd rather have him on there.
Lillards of the world.
Yeah, I'd rather have Zoe on there with his completed resume than to have somebody on here who resume ain't completed. So I agree with you on that. Oh man.
Who else you got, Kerry? Who else you got?
Look, we gotta move. Go ahead, Kerry. Go ahead.
What's it? Clay Thompson, Alex English, Joe Dumars, Dwight Howard. I know that was a big to do. Derrick Rose, Ginobili, Tony Parker, Paul Gasol. I didn't agree with that one anyway.
Kerry, you must got a man crush on some of these folks.
I told
you got a man crush on some of these folks. Some of these folks don't deserve to be on this list.
This is what some sports and commentators, some of the people that they thought should have been on the list that was snubbed. So that's Derrick
Rose got an MVP. So he got an MVP though. He was the youngest MVP in the league history. So,
but that don't get you in the top 75 because
I give it to him before Damian Lillard. More than
then you got Joe Dumars, and then you got Joe Dumars. Joe Dumars, he was a product of his environment. He was over there with Isaiah, and I mean, he won a couple of championships and was with the bad boys. But I wouldn't put him on the top 75.
No, and who was it? Tracy McGrady. I didn't think he was a top. I don't see how he made the.
I don't see how he made the Hall of Fame, but oh well. Let's take this quick commercial break, and we'll come back and do a quick breakdown of one of the players that we shaking our head trying to figure out how this one guy got in and the other one didn't get in. So stay tuned to see who those two players are.
Hi, I'm Kennedy Marie of Faces by Ken Marie. I'm a self-taught makeup artist based out of Memphis, Tennessee. There are certain types of makeup artistry. I do cosmetic makeup. People ask me all the time who taught me how to do makeup. I learned it all from YouTube. So anybody out there wanting to pursue makeup or anything and need some inspiration or some help or just to pick me up, go to YouTube. I also make closure wigs. I can customize, construct, and style your wig. I can be reached on Instagram at Faces by Ken Marie. It is also the same for Facebook. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel where I post makeup videos weekly at Kennedy Marie. I'm looking forward to slaying you and thank you for booking with me. Remember, it's Faces by Ken Marie. Book your appointments today.
Faces by Ken Marie. She be slaying them faces just like I be slaying Terry every talk show. I'm gonna put a poll up one day.
Blah, blah.
I'm gonna put a poll up one day. This guy keeps saying that Kennedy looked like him, and I think she looked like her mama. So anybody who know Terry and know Lisa, I want to put a poll up to see who does she actually look more like, Lisa or Terry.
You know who the haters. You know what's haters. You know what the haters gonna say. Look like a mama. Y'all know, but I ain't got on.
Hey, it is what it is. The poll ain't gonna lie.
She got this from my daddy.
The poll ain't gonna lie. And we need to get her back on the show too.
Let's get into the. Hey, well, you need to invite her. I told her it was your fault.
Yeah, I know you threw the blame on me.
That's right.
Two players that we just really we really don't know how this happened. I mean, I got an idea, but when you talk about Bill Walton, now granted, his name is legendary. When you mention the NBA, he is, I would say, an NBA legend. But when you want to look at stats and say who deserves to be on this top, I'm a 76 list, as Kerry would say, does Dwight Howard, does he stack up to Bill Walton? Terry, what you got to say about
it? In his prime? Man, Dwight Howard was a beast, man, in his prime. I ain't no big Dwight Howard fan, but it is what it is, man. He was a beast. Other than his free shooting and everything else, man, he was a true defender. Can score points. He was very energetic. Always stayed on the defensive player of the year conversations. Always on the top defensive teams and all that type of stuff. So yeah, I think Bill Walton did. He was a great player and all that, man. But I mean, as far as a total body of work, I would have to give it to Howard, man. I just been doing research and looking at I just been going down the list, and I know what you're saying about the 2 MVPs and the championship and the championship MVP and all that. But again, one of those championships was with the Boston Celtics. I know he was the 6th man of the year, like you said. Yeah, I get that. But at the end of the day, if you go down and look at the rest of the accolades, how many rebounding titles did he do? I think when I looked it up, it was 8-2 Dwight Howard's favor. All NBA defensive teams, I think it was like the sort of the same ratio with that. Defensive player of the year, Dwight Howard got him on that. You're talking about point per game average as far as total stats, Dwight Howard had him on there. So I just don't see. And Dwight, he never won a championship or anything like that. But you take Bill Walton's 2 years, he was a mediocre player, and most of it was due to injuries. Don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing him. He was a great but in the NBA, the last 6-7 years, he only had like an 8 to 10 year career. Dwight Howard is still playing. Dwight Howard's been playing 17, 18 years. And granted, the last 3 years, Dwight Howard has been a role player coming off the bench, but he had at least 13 to 14 years of legitimate being the man on the team and having a full body of work with his stats, so they don't lie.
Let's use Kerry's scenario, and Kerry, you can follow up with this. What if he never got injured?
What if Dwight Howard had never got injured?
What if Bill Walton never would have got injured? He basically had 2 to 4 years where he was in the league MVP conversation with his play, and then the knees just couldn't hold up. And I know it's hard to try to branch that out and say, hey, if this and if that, but I mean, but I'm just saying, at his prime, when he was good, he won a championship and he won MVP, and he was a 2-time All-Star. So that was 77 and 78. Speaking of 77, that was a good year. That's when Treadwell basketball high school team won the state championship. But nonetheless, 45 years ago, it's all good. 44 years ago, but yeah, it's all good. But I'm just making the argument that he was great when he was great. And to come back, what was that? 78, to come back 8 years later and win 6th man of the year and and help Boston win another championship.
With Darryl.
I asked Kerry. Kerry.
Please, Kerry, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I know it's a what if, but I guess when you look back at his resume and it's not as good as Dwight Howard, what goes through my mind is that what he contributes, how far basketball has come since then. And you got to remember, he probably was one of the forerunners of basketball. So with just what he got on his resume, that would make some people say, hey, he needs to be on the list. And like we had talked about earlier, some people who don't need to be on the list, I think this is where Howard should have bumped some of the people off the list. I don't think we should have a comparison against a pioneer versus someone who's got the resume right now.
That's what we brought you on the show for, Carrie. That's the insight. That's the insight that we need on this show.
Okay, ain't that what I just said? Ain't that I tell you, people with not a full body of work, Carrie just told you in a nice, elegant way. I was just wrong. I told you that we wouldn't even have this conversation.
Terry, that's not what she just said. She said because Bill Walton was a pioneering legend in the NBA, he deserves to be on the list. It ain't got nothing to do with his body of work. She said he was a pioneering legendary part of the NBA. And that's why she said you shouldn't compare him with Dwight Howard. You should compare Dwight Howard with some of these other players who don't have a finished resume. Again, thank you, Carrie. That's why we brought you on this show.
Man, everybody don't know what he's talking about.
You don't shoot our ratings up, Carrie, because we was going down with this guy. The ship was sinking with this guy. Hey, I got your new nickname. You the lifeboat.
Well,
you are the lifeboat.
We all compliment each other.
See how she communicate. See how she made that sound so good. We compliment each other. You the weak link though, Terry. That's what she's trying to tell you.
No, that's not what I said.
Terry, you know I ain't listening to nothing you talk about. You know.
But that was a great point that you made, Kerry. That was a great point. And I kind of agree with you. Because I think if Bill Walton wouldn't have got hurt, his body of work probably would have been better than it was. But the few years that he was there and doing, he was the man in the NBA doing those, I'm going to say 2 to maybe 3-4 years. He was the man, which gives prudence to Derrick Rose being on the list over some of these other guys. But his body of work ain't complete either. That's it. I mean, that was the only other argument that discussion that we had. The Dwight Howard and Bill Walton. So
Bill Walton I don't care. He can be a pioneer. He can be a lieutenant. He can be the captain of the corporal army back there. At the end of the day, he had 2 good years. Everything else, he was complimentary. And what I'm saying is, you can be 6th man of the year. It ain't hard to be 6th man of the year when you got Larry Bird, when you got Robert Parrish, when you got Danny Ainge, when you got Dennis Johnson, when you got all these people right here. It ain't hard to be 6th man of the year. It ain't hard at all. You can throw it to either one of them. You can get an assist.
Come on, man. So now you
okay. Hey, don't knock me. Kerry got her time. You don't tell me about my opinion. Now I get my opinion just like you all get your opinion on the show. And I'm telling you right now,
don't discount what he did in 86. That's all I'm saying.
When you get through talking, he had 2 great years. He got 2 great years. Unfortunately, he was injured and he had to go to a reserve role. Dwight didn't have the luxury of playing with top caliber players such as Bill Walton. He was the man. Everything had to be on his back. He was the man over there in Orlando. So you can't sit up there and put that.
So what did he do his first 2 years? Did he win an MVP? Did he win a championship his first 2 years?
Did he play with Larry Bird? Did he play with Maurice Lucas over there at Portland? Did he play with Maurice Lucas and some of the greats over there?
No. Who did Portland have? Who was the man? Who was the MVP of the league? Who was the MVP of the league? Who was MVP? Who was the finals MVP?
At the end of the day, I said he had 2 good years. We're not arguing that. We're not arguing that. He had 2 good years, and that was one of the years he had a great year. But since then, no. No.
I'm saying he came in and changed the culture in Portland, and they won a championship, and he won.
That's your opinion. That's your opinion, man. That's your opinion.
You saying he didn't do that? And I'm saying he did that. Kerry just told you he was a pioneer and legend.
I'm gonna do like you said, like you told me with Kerry. Just because Kerry said means it right. Ain't that what you just told me?
I did.
Okay. Well, I'm telling you the same thing. I will tell you exactly the same thing. So we're gonna agree to disagree, but at the end of the day, based off the full body of work, Dwight Howard should be in over Bill Walton. And
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say he deserved to be in over somebody else. I'm not gonna say number wise, yeah, but I'm gonna say on this particular list, he deserved to be in over some of the other players that's on the list. Because of what Kerry just said, and I take stock in championships and MVPs somewhat. I'm agree with Kerry that he was a pioneer and legend, and he should stay on there, and Dwight Howard should maybe bump somebody else off. How about that?
I ain't got no problem. You got about 25 names that you can take away that don't have a full body of work, which I told you at the beginning of the show. So take any one of them off. I don't care. I ain't got no emotional attachment to none of them. They still don't have a full body of work. So I would put Bill in front of all 25 of the ones that don't have a completed.
Well, I'll say this. The ones who I think on a trajectory to do some great stuff, anybody on the list that I think would possibly be on there when they do the 100, I'm almost okay with that. But I'm still on the fence with.
But it's sort of hard to do that because let me ask you a question. Okay, and then I know we got to sit up there and go, but just say for example, you got somebody that's got that trajectory that you know they are top notch, whatever. Let's take Kevin Durant for example. Look at his accolades as of right now. You already know he gonna be top whatever. But just say
he a bad example. He a bad example.
But just say somebody. I was thinking the same thing. Just say somebody else that's on a trajectory that you
take Anthony Davis. He got some.
I'll take Anthony Davis. Okay, we'll take Anthony Davis. Now just say on paper and all that, he got the tools, he got the whatever. If he got the longevity, you already know he's probably going to end up on the list. But just say anything happens, heaven forbid something happens to him, and he becomes if he becomes, like Bill Walton, and injuries derail the rest of his career, but you've already crowned him on this top 75 list. So let's say we get 25 years later, and some of these other players that you may add on to the list, like Dominique got added. Maybe it's another person like Dominique 25 years later that you want to add to the list. Can you take Anthony Davis and bump him off because we already gave him that, but because we gave it to him on a partial body of work, but his next 10 years, he becomes a shadow of himself and he doesn't do anything? Could you do that?
Well, I guess you can. If they had to re-vote on the ones they already put in, I don't think if you make a list and you say, here are the top 50 players ever in the NBA, you make that list. You making that list at that time. So they are 50 players that made the list. I don't think you can come back and take them off the list. You got our grandkids and stuff. When they go down the line, they look at the top 100 and they go back and look at the body of work, and they'll just sit up there and say, like we said about Bill Walton. Oh yeah, he was great them first couple years, but he ain't did shit since. So why would he be one of the greatest? So that's my point. That's why I said you cannot do a true judgment until you have a full body of work. Because you're right. Once you in there, you should be securely in there. But what I'm saying is they making a mistake by putting these folks in there without a full body of work, and you're gonna cause issues down the line because of it. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that. But it's just like I'm saying with the Billy Cunningham situation, whether he in or out, it shouldn't even be a debate. So if what you saying is true, Kerry, that it's 76, I got a problem with it. Because it's too many names on the list that don't have a full body of work that just don't deserve to be on there right now.
And so when you saying that they're tied, do you mean that the panel of 88 that's voting, they voted 44 and 44? Was it a tie? How do you project a tie based off of Who is he tied with? Who they got? Because I would love to.
But did they show who was tied? They didn't even say who was tied.
Show who was tied. They just said it was a tie.
Well, we don't even know if it was Billy Cunningham.
See, it could not have been. But see, that's what I'm saying. The NBA did a terrible job of they had a great concept. Their thought process was in the right way, but the way they did it was totally screwed up to me.
Exactly. And I think part of it is, if you look at the players, Damian Lillard, they always disrespect him, so they probably want to put some respect on his name. But if you look at it, it's Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook. All those are really like faces of the NBA right now.
Mm-hmm. And I know they got their way of doing it, but I think it should be an era, because the argument always be, is LeBron better than Michael Jordan? It's an era. They didn't play in the same era, so I don't like when people try to say which one is better. If they played at the same time, I wouldn't mind having that conversation, because they play against each other. But when you can't show me that they have played 10 games against each other and say Michael was better than LeBron or LeBron was better than James, I do not like that conversation.
Oh, well, we already know that the greatest basketball player of all time was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So
Kerry, you really right, because Charles Barkley said on the sit up there show, and Shaq, I ain't no big Shaq fan as far as he was a Laker. I didn't like the Lakers, but Shaq made a good point. And when they asked Shaq who is the greatest Laker center of all time, he got to sit up there saying what he would do to certain people, like
Wilt Chamberlain.
But Wilt Chamberlain was back during a time where he was the tallest one out there. What about his only major competition was Bill Russell? So this guy out here, they say, I don't give him kudos. And I know it's back during the era. Well, I guess I can't give him kudos because it was back in that era. But looking at it hindsight from 2020, he scored 100 points in the game. If I'm 7 to 8 inches taller than anybody in the NBA, and I'm only playing Bill Russell a couple of times a year, I mean, who wouldn't score if you're taking that many shots? Who wouldn't score 100? So Shaq is to me, like I said, you go down, you talk about dominant centers in the NBA. I don't like him because he was a Laker and all that stuff, but Shaq, I mean, as far as dominant, he's better than Wilt.
I don't know, because I think if you took Wilt and you put him in the era where Shaq was playing, and he was playing like Shaq was playing, I'm gonna just say this.
Okay.
No.
What you're saying because if you did that, you got to put Shaq back in his era when he was doing it too. Okay. It goes both ways.
Listen to what I'm about to say. I'm saying if Wilt Chamberlain would have played high school ball in the 80s, 90s, or whenever Shaq played, 80s, college ball in the 90s, and went into the NBA, I think he would have been still just as dominant as he was playing against the players that he played against.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But if you take Shaq back in the hands of time, based off what you know now, Shaq would have scored 200-300 points.
He would have been dominant, but it's just
he would have been dominant.
Hold on, think about it now. Think about it now. They took the slam dunk out of the basketball for certain reasons. So they'll limit how dominant you're going to be. And you got to think about that. Wilt came up in that era. Well, you had to have some finesse to your game.
Okay. Well, I think Shaq could still finger roll, do. I think he still can get the ball in the hole without dunking.
Shaq didn't have no better finger roll and turn around jumper like Wilt now.
Dude. Wilt was 10 feet higher than everybody else. Come on. His finger roll and the folks' head down here, and he doing this.
Okay. Shaq was doing the same thing, too. Shaq was just big and strong than everybody. Like he said, he wasn't.
That's why I say he was the most.
He wasn't the greatest center. He was the most dominant. He
what I said. I said he was the most dominant center. If I had to pick between, I said most dominant. That's what I said. But just in case you didn't hear me, just replay the show when it's over with, and you'll go back and see that I said dominant.
Dominant don't make you the better one, though.
But it's my opinion, Daryl. I mean,
but I'm just.
you created this show for opinions. I mean, do I get an opinion? Do I get it? I mean, I'm saying you can have your opinion, but I'm letting you know because you might not be aware of it. I have to enlighten you on stuff sometimes. Gotcha.
And I'm gonna read a quote from J.J. Redick. JJ Redick said, here's my issue with the old timers when they shit on us saying we couldn't play in their era. Most NBA players in today's era could play in any era in the NBA. Most NBA players from the 50s, 60s, and early 70s could not play in today's NBA. Well, that was from JJ Redick.
And JJ Redick just sit up there and spit on your analysis of putting Wilt Chamberlain in today's world. He just spit on what you just said.
That was his opinion.
I know, but I'm just saying. I'm glad you put his opinion out because he just spit on everything you just said about bringing Wilt Chamberlain into this day's world.
Because all he's doing is defending.
Okay, yeah, change around.
I'm just saying he defending his era, which is nothing wrong with it. But that's just like when you say LeBron couldn't have played in Jordan era because you couldn't come down the lane like LeBron come down the lane.
Okay. Well, evidently you agree with me. If you would have found his comment and you said it on today's show, it must have resonated with you somehow. So you said it on the show. So that's the reason.
No, I found the quote and I had it stored and I used it. That's research.
There's plenty of quotes out there, but you just read it. So it resonated with you. So it just goes back to show you that what you said about Wilt Chamberlain in today's society.
It's research.
Okay.
Because I really believe if Wilt Chamberlain would have grew up in this era, see that's what everybody keep forgetting about. When they was growing up, they didn't have all the advantages. They didn't have the workouts and stuff that they have now.
So you're right, and JJ Redick is wrong. Is that what you're saying? Telling me right?
Basically,
I just say yes or no. Yes or no. You're right, and JJ's okay. That's all I need to hear. Ladies and gentlemen, Daryl Early is right again. Over one of the greatest 3-point shooters of all time. Daryl Early is right, and the NBA player that knows the game is wrong.
Let me ask you this: what college did JJ Redick go to?
We're not discussing that. You just said you was right and he was wrong.
No, it ain't. No, that's my opinion. So I'm just asking. So you telling me if the players back in those days had the type of equipment to work out with that these guys have now, you saying they wouldn't be bigger, stronger, and faster?
I'm just looking at the 10-foot goal. You based off what you're working with. I mean, the basket was still 10 feet tall.
Let me ask somebody. Let me ask somebody who got a little sense. Kerry.
Okay, we'll talk to Kerry.
If players from the 60s and 70s and 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s had the same workout regimen that the players have these days, don't you think that they would have been better? They would have been more skilled than they were?
Not exactly the words I would use. Their longevity probably would have been longer as far as playing in the game because it's so much more training and expert on how to treat your body when you're having these long stretches of games. And back then, like LeBron been in the league forever, and Kobe was in forever. All these people have longevity in the game. Even Vince Carter, they longevity, but back then don't seem like they played as long as the players that we see now, a lot of the players. So I'm quite sure they had the same kind of physical training and the endurance, because medicine has come such a long way, and with sports training, I believe that they probably would be able to compete in this society now.
What year did Dr. J play? Back in the 80s?
In the 70s, early 80s.
Okay, so you telling me with the athleticism that Dr. J had, he couldn't play in today's NBA?
Yeah, I'm saying he could play. I'm just saying that because of back then, their longevity in their career wasn't as long as some of the people now that we're seeing. That's
why you're exactly right. That's the reason why it's hard to judge errors. That's why that's a touchy topic when you sit up there where you compare stats from different eras. That's the reason why I said the only reason you did make a good point with Walton by being a pioneer. That's why I said it ain't always about numbers. It really ain't, because some of the stuff that he did do, he had, and if you take Kareem out of the way, he probably had the next best college career. So if you add that body of work and he didn't get injured along in his NBA career, we could be talking about him alongside Kareem. as probably being one of the top 10 greatest of all time.
He was on that trajectory, but that goes back to your point. Until it's over with, you can't judge him.
Yeah.
Because he won. He was just like Kareem. He won all 3 years at UCLA. Yeah, he won 3 at UCLA. But pros, injuries. But that's why I say Kareem, if you look at it, Kareem won 4 championships in high school, 3 championships in college, and won 5 NBA championships and had like 5 or 6 MVPs. So to me, not only is he the greatest NBA player of all time, he's the greatest basketball player of all time because ain't nobody got a resume like him. From high school through the end of his pro career.
And before we get out of here, man, I said I was going to mention it. I want to give kudos out to the University of Memphis Tigers. On yesterday, day before yesterday, they brought out a statue for Coach Larry Finch. Well-deserved coach. Rest in peace. Great accolades and all that. Long time coming. Our fellow alumni, Penny Hardaway and Elliot Perry was there to speak on the great moment and the statue and everything. So kudos for doing the right thing to the University of Memphis Tigers.
Okay. I'm looking at this statue. Hold on, let me pull it up. I think they oh wait a minute.
Well, I haven't seen the statue. I did hear about it.
I'm hold on, I'm trying to. It won't. Hold on.
I was just gonna talk to you, trying to pull it up. That's all.
Yeah, it's
that's good. See, that's good thinking. Because it looked like it's taking him a while to get it up. He should have had all that stuff prepped and ready.
Well, and it's well deserved. He has a good resume.
Hold on, is that Larry Trench or Larry Finch?
Man, look.
I gotta go pull this up.
I know Larry Finch. Larry Finch was. I know he was fair skinned.
Are they finished with it?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm like,
do they got to put another coat of paint?
I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about
the body. Like
do that look like it?
It could have been that.
I mean,
go back and look at some of Larry's old photos.
No. I'm saying I'm looking at this picture and I'm saying that don't look like the Coach Finch. That don't look like the UCLA Memphis Tiger Finch. That I don't know. That don't look like Coach Finch. That's all I'm saying. But hey, it got his name on it, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a closer look at it. I really didn't pay attention to the statues, but still, that should have been one of those ones that was approved before you guys put it out there. But I guess it didn't go through the chain of command, and they just said, "The hell with it, you pay for it. Here you go."
Hey, that's one of them. It don't matter what the face look like; it's the name on the statue that matters.
Yeah.
Okay, they went back and got one of his old basketball.
Do he look like that back then?
Well, I'm not sure.
It still don't look like him to me. That's all I'm saying. I saw some of his old pictures when he was playing back in the 70s with the little afro when they played against UCLA and all of that. That don't.
The eyes to me, I can see him in the eyes.
Well, we know who it's supposed to be if it don't look like him.
Well, kudos to Memphis. I'm not finna get on you. It is a terrible lookalike, but it's the sentiment that counts. And long time coming. Rest in peace, Coach Finch, one of the greatest icons in not only University of Memphis but Memphis history. So kudos to you guys and all that. But had a good show.
Hey, maybe one day we can pull our fellow alumni from Treadwell onto the show.
Man, if we do, we're gonna have to handcuff him with to our arms to your arms and pull him on here. We've been trying to look.
Let's speak it into existence.
Well, we gonna do it.
One day we're gonna get Anthony Hardaway and we're gonna get Elliot Perry on the show.
We're gonna get them on there. We gonna do it.
It might take us 5 more years, but we're gonna get them.
We gonna get them. Yeah, because they Coach, Penn is doing his thing with the team, and the commitments that they have to do and all that stuff, and what they got going on. I know they terribly busy, but like Daryl said, we don't talk into existence. We will have them on the show soon. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But when they get on here, we're gonna have to give them some tough questions. Ask them how can they get on this number one show in the world. How come they should be calling us? They representatives should be calling us and said, hey, we want to be on your show, especially since we former alums. You know what I'm saying? So
see, that's why I've been working with him on communication. Now, why would you say we're gonna ask them the hard questions? Let's just make them not even want to come out. They were like, I ain't got time for that.
Well, it ain't like we didn't ask. I didn't ask them the hard questions when we was growing up. It's being real. They know who I am. I ain't finna get on there. Hey, how you doing? It's great to see you. Would have loved it. That ain't me, brother. How come you ain't had your ass on this show? We've been trying to get you on the show for you. Sometimes you have to talk to people a certain way for them.
I'm gonna edit this part out before we redistribute this, because we trying to talk nice and get him on the show, and this fool talking about how he gonna.
Man, we gonna get them on the show. They know us.
Hey, good show, everybody. Appreciate everybody who tuned in.
We almost went 2 hours, y'all.
I know.
They ain't thinking about it. Look at it. It's an hour and 21 minutes.
Let me see. Make sure. Where is it at? I don't see it. But anyway, make sure you watch the other In the Club Sports Talk and More podcast. Sports Talk, which is what you're on now. We got Real Talk. We did that earlier today. And Carrie is hosting that Matters of the Heart now. If y'all got some ideas, y'all inbox her, y'all talk to her and all that. We trying to feed off of her. She's still according to her, she's still in training, but y'all see she don't need no damn training. That's her show and all that. And I just like to talk about some of the juicy topics that they want to talk about. So send all your ideas to her, or you can send it to us and we'll pass it on to her. But we looking forward to the next. I think that's the next show is the Matters of the Heart. Next show, Matters of the Heart. I don't know how we're gonna do the Saturday shows this week. We got that meeting and stuff. So
yeah, that's what Carrie. That's what she does when she get through with us.
We got meetings.
I know that Carrie can do the show by herself, man. Carrie got it. Carrie got it. Carrie can do it by herself.
Carrie sounds good, but I don't know if I'm that good.
Look, if Carrie Chapman can do it, Carrie Maven can do it.
All right, Carrie. He'll send you out there and be the first one to laugh at you.
I know.
Look. This will be some of them texts. That's it, man. You see what Carrie's saying out there?
That's how this guy is. He'll hype you up, send you out there, and be the first one to laugh at you.
Yes, I know.
Hey, good show, everybody. Y'all tune in. We appreciate everybody. Make sure you go on YouTube, subscribe to the page, In the Clutch Sports Talk and More podcast. Subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can be notified whenever we come on air. And we hope you guys enjoy the show as much as we enjoyed it. And we're out of here.
We're out of here. Take care.